Hey guys, it's Caitlin and I just wanted to talk to you today about the downwind journey I've had so far. I think we see a lot online of people acing downwind runs and getting it first go, but the reality is it's a very hard journey. One that's probably taken me minimum a year and I'm still not even there, but I'm going to talk you through the journey so far, the things that helped me, the tips I've learned, and hopefully it helps you guys too, or at least helps you to stick with the journey. So my main point probably is, it is super frustrating at the start. You feel like you are never going to make progress, but every time you go out and you have a session, you are making a tiny bit of progress, and it is about consistency rather than big steps. So just try and do something as much as you can for as often as you can and you will get there. So I think to start my journey, I had a lot of help from my partner, who's an incredible sup rider, wave rider, and he was able to lend me one of his boards, which was a 130 litre downwind board, really easy to stand on. I couldn't even stand on it at the start, it was still freaking hard, but it's designed to, it was wide, it was 30 inches wide, it was super long, it was just pretty much a boat, and it was just for me to learn how to paddle. I had never paddled before. So I think for about 3 months, I just learned how to paddle, never caught a wave, went out probably 3 times a week through winter last year, and just enjoyed learning how to paddle, learning the stroke, learning how to just go straight really. So I did a lot of flat water practice on a river, and I did a lot of just sup surf practice, trying to get in the waves, little waves, and figure it out that way. From there, I progressed onto a smaller board. So I went from 130 down to 115. This is when Sabfoil came out with their range of boards. This was an incredible next step for me. I had the Sabfoil Torpedo 115, and I had that board for the longest time in my journey. It is a really good production board that just has the perfect shape for sup surf and downwinding. It's about 7'5" and 21 inches wide. And that just allowed me to progress from a bigger board to a more efficient board, faster to paddle, easier to paddle as it's smaller. And I just got out in the waves more. So I went pretty much every morning. There was waves and there was an option. I got out in this, the surf, supping, still extremely frustrating. Found it really hard. Anytime it was bumpy, I couldn't do it. And then I started to try 3-kilometer runs. So we have a little run in our area that you can do just to practice, and it's 3 kilometers, and whether you get on foil or not, you can just paddle the whole way, it's not too bad. And I didn't get on foil. I think for about 4 months trying downwind runs through summer, didn't get on foil at all. Maybe one paddle up every now and again, and then just came straight off. I also practiced a lot of wing downwinding, so I just wanted to learn how to connect the bumps. So I would take a small hand wing and my downwind board. I'd still stick with the same downwind board. I did everything on that through summer. And then I learned power winging, which really helped. So power winging is another frustrating one, but it really helped in my downwind journey, and allowed me to learn the motion of getting up with your weight forwards. So I did a lot of power winging, learned how to pack it away, ride the bumps, was getting better at that. The next step was just figuring out how to connect my paddle up that I can do on a wave with my downwinding that I can do with a wing or a power wing. So I was missing that middle connection. So we went to the river, we did a lot of paddle up practice. I still haven't got a flat water paddle up, but getting very close. And just really practice that technique, the technique of having your weight as forward as you can, but keeping your hips back, your arms extended to really get the reach. And I did that over and over and over and over again. Got consistency and just did it every day. So then when I was going back to downwind paddling, doing my smaller runs, the paddling was becoming easier. I could stand on my board easier, I could get up every now and again, but I was still struggling to link the get up, the glide, and then the riding, connecting the bumps without just falling off, because you have no wing to grab on. So you've got all these pieces of the puzzle, you're just trying to learn the foil rather than your your wing or your paddle or your tool. So you need to just learn your foil. So we did a fair bit of towing up practice. We had a winch where we would tow up and just glide and just see how long you could go and pump, keep your mast high. And then it all sort of started to come together. Last 3 runs I've had have probably been my best yet, with my maximum run still only 1 kilometre on foil, but it's getting there. And I just started to learn the feeling of getting up onto a bump, not a wave, just a wind bump, and what it needs to feel like and how far forward your weight has to be. And again, just went and did it every day, no matter how much I was struggling, got from a 3 kilometre run to a 10 kilometre run, and just progressed like that. So I think the main point here is it's not something you're gonna get in a day if you've never paddled, if you've never sup surfed. It's something that's going to take time, and you just need to stick with it. And once you do make these little increments of success, it just feels amazing. So that's the advice I can give you. I hope it helps a little bit. I know it's not incredible, and those are a few things that might help you. As I go further into my journey, I'll try and give you more tips, but this is the total beginner. I'm not an expert, and this is how I've gotten to where I am now. So hope you guys get out there.